Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel License Learning and Career. So today our topic is ensuring data integrity in life science industry through ALCOA plus principle. So before introducing our presentation and slide, let me introduce myself. My name is RK Singh. I have been working in life science industry for the couple of years. So I have experience in quality control, quality assurance, compliance as well as in vendor audit, right? So let's get started. So our first slide is about what is called data integrity, right? So I know that people who watching this video having the background of pharmaceutical industry and life science industry, they already know about the term called data integrity, right? So I'm purposely making this video for the freshers and for the people who are interested to learn about the life science industry. So for them, I'm making these slides, okay? So not only for them, it is also for the experienced person who watching this video and who already know about the term called data integrity. They might have forgot or they might have to recall to recall or brush up their old knowledge about data integrity. It's also useful for them, right? So let's get started. So what is called data integrity? Data integrity is the protection of data from unauthorized and unaccountable changes. So my dear friends, please note down the term that data integrity is protection of data from unauthorized and unaccountable changes. So what does it mean? The data which is generated in the pharmaceutical industry, which is in the form of electronically or which is in the form of paper based document, that data should be protected from the unauthorized and unaccountable changes, right? We can also say data integrity defined as maintained and assurance of data consistency and accuracy throughout its life cycle. Okay, sir, we understand what you are saying. You are telling that data which is generated in the pharmaceutical industry, which is in the form of electronically or which is in the form of a record paper-based document, that data should be protected and it should be not no one can able to modify or no one can able to alter the data throughout its life cycle, right? You are telling, okay, we understand the term. So why the data integrity is important? So my dear friends, I want to tell you data integrity is important in all the industry, okay? Data it is not important only in pharmaceutical industry. It is important in all the sectors in all industry, right? But especially in pharmaceutical industry, it is very, very important because the drugs or the vaccine which you are producing in pharmaceutical industry, which are directly going to consume by our people, right? So it is directly related to the patient safety, right? It's directly related to patient safety and directly related to you and me as, right? So if the data is any manipulated or data any mismatched during the manufacturing of the tablets or and vaccine, and it is going to consume by the peoples, right? So if the data is not corrected, I mean the data which is not correctly mentioned or it is not prepared as per the SOPs, definitely it's going to take the life of the person. It will lead to the death also of the person, right? So that's what it is written. Data integrity is highly important in any industry, but see, but it is especially in the pharmaceutical industry, it is very, very important. Why? Because any data error could means serious consequences. Data integrity is highly important in any industry, but especially in the pharmaceutical industry, where any data error could means what a serious consequences. That's what I told you, right? It is directly related to the pharmaceutical industry or the food industry, which is directly, or cosmetic industry, this kind of industry which is directly related to the patients, right? So if any data manipulations or any data altered which leads to the what serious consequences of that person, right? So it directly related to the patients, right? That's why data integrity is very important in the pharmaceutical industry. So let's get to the next slide. So in this slide, we are going to talk about what is ALCOA principle. Okay, ALCOA is a concept to implement the data security and integrity in pharmaceutical industry. Okay, the data integrity we already seen in the previous slide. So in order to ensuring the data integrity in pharmaceutical industry, we are using the term called ALCOA principle. Okay, so when it was introduced by Stan W. Ullen from the FDA Office of Enforcement in 1990s. In the late 1990s, it was introduced by the FDA officer called Stan W. Ullen. Okay, so he introduced the concept of the ALCOA principle, right? So what does mean by ALCOA? Okay, sir, you told about the ALCOA principle, you told about the data integrity. What does ALCOA stands for? So my dear friends, please note down in the interview point of view, if you are going for any kind of interview in the life science industry, pharmaceutical industry, definitely people will ask you what is mean by data integrity and what are the, I mean, principle for the used for data integrity, right? So you need to tell about this principle, okay? And when it was introduced, that also we need to mention, right? So who introduced that one, that also you need to mention. So please note down, my dear friends, ALCOA stands for attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original and accurate. Okay. So in the upcoming slides, I am going to talk about on the each topics. Okay. So first, please note down this term called ALCOA stands for attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original and accurate. Okay. So let's go to next slide. So what is attributable? Each piece of data, whatever the data which generated in the pharmaceutical industry, should be attributed to the person who generated it. Okay, each piece of data should be attributed to the person who generated it. This part should include the detail of the person who performed the action and when it was performed. The data, any data which is generated in the pharmaceutical industry, that should capture the action, who performed that action and when it was performed. Okay, if let us take some example. I am going to generate some data in the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, that should be attributable in nature. What does it mean? I am going to generate one data. That data should capture who performed that action, who performed. Let us take RK Singh performed that action, right? RK Singh performed that action and when he was performed, that should also be captured, right? So attributable is nothing but the person who is responsible for generating the data. That person performance should be who performed that action and when it was performed. It nothing but a timestamp that should be captured. Okay. So this can be done both physically, signing and putting initial and dating a paper document. So let us take the data which is generated in the paper document, right? In that you need to put your signature, initial and also date. Okay, so it states that you performed that action and you performed so and so date time, right? So that's what signing, putting initial and dating a paper document. Okay, if it is an electronic signature, then definitely the system or the software going to capture who generated the data and when it was generated, right? Let us take in simple example. Data should clearly demonstrate, the data which is generated clearly demonstrate who observed and recorded it. Okay, when it was observed and recorded, who and when. Okay, please note of the term who and when. That is nothing but the attributable. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So what is legible? Okay, all recorded data should readable, legible and permanent. Okay, the data which is generated in the form of electronically or it is a paper based document, that should be what? Legible. Okay, that should be legible and permanent. Okay, please note down, my dear friends, all the recorded data should be readable, legible for and permanent. A readable part is fairly obvious. Okay, it is because it is fairly obvious, right? When the data is used multiple times by different peoples, if only one person can read the actual records, then the data is more or less unusable, right? So the data which is generated is used by the multiple times by multiple different peoples. Each person can able to what? Each person can able to what? Read each person can able to read that record. Okay, if it is not able to, only one person can able to read the record means it is more or less it is unusable, right? Whatever the data is generated, that should be readable by all the person who is viewing the or who is going to view that data, right? So that's what it's written. Readable part is fairly obvious that the data will be used multiple times by different people, and if only one person can read the actual records, then the data is more or less unusable, right? So that's what it is written. It should be readable by the all the persons, right? That's what it should be readable by the all the persons. If it is only readable by a single person and no person can able to view or read the data, then it is not legible, right? That's what it is written there. So permanent means the data won't be changed accidentally or unwillingly. Okay, it should be permanent. The data should be permanent unless it should be accidentally or changed by accidentally or unwillingly. That's what it's written here, legible. Okay, legible means states that the data which is generated, it should be readable, legible format and permanent. Okay, data in simple definition, data should be easy to understand. Okay, anybody can easily understand the data. Okay, recorded permanently, the data should be recorded permanently, and the original entry it should be preserved. That's what it is written in the legible. Okay, let's go to the next slide. What is contemporaneous? It means the data is always recorded at actual time, the actual time the action or work was performed. So if you are performing any data, or if you are generating any data, okay, in pharmaceutical industry, you need to mention the actual time when it was performed. Okay, that's what it is written. No piece of data should be recorded retrospectively. Okay, you cannot able to I mean, you generated the data so and so time, and you cannot able to add the timestamp, or you cannot able to put the date of the previous time. Okay, that's what it is written. No piece of data should be recorded retrospectively. In simple definition, data should be recorded as it was observed. Okay, and at the time it was executed. Understood? So whatever the data you are going to generate, you need to actually mention the time when it was been performed. Okay, what are the actions you have done when it was performed? Okay, that's what it means. So what is mean by original? It is very important to have a medium where the data was first generated. So let us take some example. In chromatography system, I am going to generate the let us take some sample. Okay, I'm going to take some sample. I'm going to prepare the method, and I'm going to create the batch, and I perform the analysis. Okay, after that acquisition, I got the sample results which I'm able to view. Okay, that is called my we can say it is an original record. For the first data was the data was first recorded. Okay, so after that with the help of that data, I'm going to see the result table. So for that result table, I'm doing some qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis, right? So to view the result table, so the result table shows some values to us, right? Some data to us, right? But data was actually taken from where? The first generated data, which is nothing but the sample results which we have generated before, right? So that was the first record. It is very important to have a medium where the data was first generated. Okay, the original data should also the original data first time which was generated, that should be recorded. Okay, this should be a form or a protocol, a dedicated notebook or a database. Okay, doesn't really matter as long as it preserved in its original form. That's what it is written. Okay, in simple definition, we can also say the source data, the original data, the first data which is generated, that was actually recorded. Okay, the source data should be accessible and preserved in its original form. Okay, so like the sample which we have generated, that sample we are doing some quantitative and qualitative analysis in order to view the result table, right? So result table is our final product, but the first product, the first generated data, what is our sample result, the sample which we are acquired, right? That sample should be what preserved in its original form. That's what it's written, original. What is accurate? Okay, achieving data accuracy means ensuring that the data is error free, complete, truthful, and that is reflect the observation made. Okay, please note down my dear friends, achieving data accuracy. Okay, in order to achieve the data accuracy means ensuring the data is error free, complete, truthful, and that is reflect the observation made. Okay, editing the data without logging means its accuracy is lost. So it is of vital importance to always record who, when, why change the data record. Okay, the audit trail will capture all those things, right? Whatever the data which is generated in the GMP environment in pharmaceutical industry, that should be accurate. Okay, that should be error free, complete, it should be truthful, and it reflects the observation made. Okay, in simple definition, data should be free from errors and conform with the protocol. Okay, so what is mean by ALCOA plus? So okay sir, you talked about data integrity, you talked about ALCOA principles, you talked about each term of the ALCOA. Okay, so what does mean by ALCOA plus? Okay, the ALCOA, the concept ALCOA plus was introduced to the industry with this feature of 5 main principles of data integrity. We already seen about in the previous slides about attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original and accurate. Okay, so what does it mean by plus? Plus means there will be 4 attributes for them. Okay, the 4 attributes are what? Complete, consistent, enduring and available. Okay, now we are going to see about the 4 attributes of ALCOA plus. Complete. When the data is complete in nature, it means that no deletion that has taken place from the date of documenting. Okay, the data which is generated, it should be complete. Okay, it should be complete. Data should be complete. That's what it is written. It means there is no deletion that has been taken place from the date of documenting. The data which was generated at initial state, that data should be complete throughout its life cycle. Okay, that's what it is written as complete. What's maybe consistent? Consistent means the data should be chronologically, that is what is mean by chronologically, arranged in the order in which the event happened. Okay, chronologically means arranged in the order in which the event happened. Okay, that's mean by consistency. Data should be consistent throughout its life cycle with with the timestamps including for any addition to the original data. Understood? What is meant by enduring? Enduring means the material which is used to record the data should be in manner which will last a long duration of time without losing the readability. For example, I'm generating the one data and the data is going to save in a hard disk or hard drive or in a server. That server or a hard disk, it should be what? Long duration of time. That's the data which is present in the hard disk, that should record the data in a manner in which last a long duration of time without losing its readability. Even if I'm going to view the data which is generated in 2008, the data, I have run the batch and I have created the result table. I have generated some data. That data I'm going to put it in a server or put it in a hard drive. Okay, in 2008, if FTA person or a compliance team or a QA person want to see the data in 2018 after the 10 years of data generated, so he will tell that person to, can you please show me the 2008 data, and he will going to take this data from the server or from an hard disk, right? So that's what it is. It should be enduring. The material used to record the data, and if you tell that open the data of 2008, then my system or an hard drive should have a capacity to open the data, and how the data generated 2008, the same thing should be in the readable format. It should be available in the readable format, right? The material used to record the data should be in manner which will last a long duration of time without losing the readability. Understood? So our final attributes is called available. The data should be accessible whenever needed. That's what the data should be accessible. I can able to access the data whenever I needed. Okay, over the life of the data. It ensures that data meets its use since it can be applied when the need arises. Okay, these are the 4 attributes of ALCOA plus principles. Okay, complete, consistent, enduring and available. So I talked about all the ALCOA principles, right? So this is the summary of ALCOA plus principle. So attributable, what does attributable say? Record who wrote it and with sign and date. Okay, the record or data who wrote it and when with sign and date. The record which is generated, that should be captured. Who wrote the data and with sign and date. Okay, that is called attributable. What is legible? Data should be readable after it was recorded. Okay, the data was recorded, then I should can able to read that data. That is called legible. Contemporaneous means what? Record the data at the time it was generated. Okay, the data which is generated at the time, we need to record the time. Okay, online, that was written as record the data at the time it was generated. Okay, what is meant by original? Data in its unaltered state. It is very important, my dear friend. Original, what does it means? The data which is generated, which is present throughout its life cycle It is it will be available in the form of unaltered state. No one can able to alter the data. Okay, it should be available in unaltered state. Accurate reflects its actual value and trueness. Okay, when it was generated, the same accuracy should be available throughout its life cycle. Complete. What are the four attributes of that one? Complete, consistency, enduring, and available. What is complete says? Complete says that data is complete state to avoid recreation and manipulation. Okay. Consistent states that data is sequential manner with sign and date. Enduring means making sure record exists for the entire period. Okay. Available means available for review at any time. So if you are not able to clearly understand about the ALCOA principle, please go through the summary and you will get the complete idea about ALCOA plus principles. Okay. So let's just move to the next slide. So this slide talks about the data integrity warning letter received by countries. Okay. So in the past 10 years, from 2008 to 2018, so the past 10 years, how many countries have received the data integrity warning letters? So I mean, created this, table, and it clearly states that China is leading the highest data integrity warning letters by the FDA from the duration of 2008 to 2018. So overall, it has received 58 warning letters, data integrity warning letters, followed by India. So we have received 54 warning letters, followed by USA, which received only 36 warning letters. FDA data integrity warning letters, followed by Europe, which received only 14 warning letters, followed by Japan 7, South Korea 6, and Canada 5. So it clearly says that China is having the more data integrity warning letters for the past 10 years, which from 2008 to 2018, and followed by us. So as an Indian, we need to mainly focus on the data integrity on the company perspective. We need to give proper trainings to our employees, proper trainings to our managers, proper trainings to every management to follow, correct data, to follow the data integrity and to follow the compliance in our organization in order to meet the fulfill the complete requirements to avoid the warning letters for our company, so that it will be helpful for your career growth also, and it will also helpful for the growth of the organizations also, right? So our data integrity ALCOA plus with some live example of data integrity warning letters we have covered in the previous slides. So our topic was covered today. So in the next section, I'm going to talk about the FDA audit, how warning letters, Form 482, Form 483, and many things about audit. I mean, how the audit should be conducted, and how we need to act in the audit. Okay, how to perform the successful audit. That everything I'm going to cover in the next section. So sorry for the delay in the videos. So I was busy in some work and I cannot able to focus more time on these topics. So I will take care of that one in the upcoming days. I'm going to prepare. I mean, in every week I'm going to make 2 or 3 videos. So it will be very helpful for you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time. Like, if you like our content, please do like, subscribe, and share with your friends who are really interested in the pharmaceutical to learn about more about the pharmaceutical and license industry, and people who are freshers and who are interested to come into the pharmaceutical engineering. So please go through our slides, so that you will get idea about what is maybe computational validation, how to perform the audits, and how to perform the effective compliance in our organization. So I am going to also talk about the career growths, and what are the job opportunities available in the market. Everything I am going to cover in the upcoming days. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.